Hi there, Pete and Barbara Vassler welcoming you to Canyon Creek Scenics, where we hand make high-quality conifer trees in many sizes of Douglas fir, subalpine, and cedar styles, plus logs and forest floor details for your modeling needs. We are here to help you add that final touch of beauty to your diorama and model railroad scenery. Come see us at CanyonCreekScenics.com.
So I think the story of the F unit began way back when I was a kid. In Model Railroader, they had an article on building a half-size control stand and a half-size brake stand. I thought that was really cool, and I suppose if I'd had time and expertise, I would like to have done that. And that stayed in the back of my mind, and fast forward till before I built this basement project, I had a friend in Florida, Seth Bramson, who contacted me and said, I know you don't usually collect big things, but I have the control stand from a KCS NW2. Would you like that? And I said, yeah, I would. So he shipped it on a pallet. I restored it and realized the difference between a switcher throttle and a road unit throttle. Road unit throttle has 8 notches. A switcher throttle has none. It's like your accelerator on your automobile. It's analog, not digital. So looking around for a road unit throttle led me to the scrapyard that had this locomotive. And at first I was going to buy just the throttle stand, the brake stand, the dash, the seat. And the gentleman there said, well, are you trying to mock up a locomotive cab? And I said, yes. He said, we're going to cut up the BN 682 and we'll sell the whole cab to you for the total cost he just quoted me for the parts, which was several $100s. The addition would be $35 an hour for the torch cutting because they couldn't just blow it apart like they do when they're scrapping. They had to cut carefully. And that's a short story of how it got here. The whole idea was the locomotive and the passenger car, they're fun to have, people enjoy them, and they're giant props that set the stage for the model railroad. So you can look at the tiny little passenger cars and you can look at the tiny little locomotives, but you can also be in the cab of a real locomotive and be in a full-size passenger car in the basement at the same time. Partly what describes the fun of having an F unit was a friend I had here who also has an F unit in Michigan, and he sat down outside the cab and was just looking up at it for a long time, didn't say anything. He said, do you remember when you were a kid how much you'd look up and long to be in the cab of that locomotive? I said, yes, I sure do. He said, and you realize how much fun it still is even though you have your own and you can go in it any time you want. So that explains it. And it helps people to see how one of these is really laid out. The throttle, the electric brake, the reverse lever, the train brake, the locomotive brake. It's a lot different than automobiles or trucks or anything else you might drive. And it's just fun to be inside a real one and feel what it would like to be the engineer. And that's all Kansas City Southern China, flatware and hollowware. The seat on the far side is from the Union Pacific. The seat on the near side is a duplicate that I had made. And these chairs here and the round table are from the Union Pacific. And in here is a roomette. These are parts from the scrapyard. And one person or a mom and a kid could share this space. It has a toilet and a fold-down bed. And in here is a museum. Should be another roomette, but I didn't have the energy or the fixtures. And so my wife said, well, make it a museum. So there's timetables, silverware, Kansas City Terminal Railway whistle, and of course the dress from the Real Miss Southern Belle from 1940. And then this is the general restroom for the car. It has a sink, a toilet, and a dental basin, and it actually serves as the restroom for the basement.
Oops. Okay.
And in here are electrical controls for the car.
Oh, I'll step back. Okay. Ooh.
4 feet deep, and all put together it weighs 60 pounds. The Union Station, I wanted to represent the fact that there's actually more of the Union Station underground than above ground. So at the basement level, immediately under the station, they handled all local baggage and express. And at the sub-basement below that, they handled all through baggage and express. Mail came there by conveyor belt from the post office across the street. And backup equipment, generators, compressors, electrical panels were down there. The original concept for designing the station was that there would be no trucking at track level. All the baggage traveled through tunnels underground, under the head of each platform, and at the head of each platform then was an elevator which took the baggage down or brought the baggage and mail up directly to the cars. So, well, there's 3 large chandeliers in the station, and they each have 84 LEDs in them. The 3 levels are etched brass. They're all hand soldered under a dissecting microscope. Had to count all of the chains to make sure they were the same number of links. Position the tiny little pearls that I drilled holes in at the same height, and assemble that all together and wire it and hang them in there. So there's the top of the Union Station, the little nuts that hold the chandeliers on with their dropping resistors, and a 6-volt power supply to decrease the amount of heat generated by the resistors.
And this is the only spot where 6 volts
Only
is on.
spot I use 6 volts because of that, and you can see that the shell is made out of 1/8-inch styrene sheet, and then there is the castings over that give it the prototype detail.